Hello guys, welcome back to 20 Minutes Movie. The name of the movie is A Cure of Wellness 2016. At the beginning of the film, we see a boy whose name is Lockhart. He used to work in a very big financial company. He was ready to do anything to earn money. One day, he gets a letter from his company in which it was written that he would have to go to Switzerland for a few days, where their company's CEO has gone, which is also a very big hospital. In addition, it was also written in that letter that their company's CEO does not want to come back now. All the people in the company were very surprised to hear about this. They give this responsibility to Lockhart, who works there, that he will have to go to Switzerland and bring back his CEO. Now, Lockhart had reached Switzerland. He goes there and takes a car and tells the driver to go to the wellness center, which was made far away on the mountains. Now, when they were going there, a man comes in the way and throws something on their car, which made the glass of their car dirty. The driver tells Lockhart that this is what the people here do. They still take their 200 years ago rituals with them. While talking like this, he reached that wellness center, where he goes and sees that the people there are very happy, and most of the people are about 50 to 55 years old. Now, Lockhart goes to the wellness center and talks to the receptionist and says that I have come to meet my CEO, who has come here to get his treatment. But the receptionist tells him that now you cannot meet him because the time to meet here was from 11 to 3 o'clock. Lockhart tells the nurse that please let me meet him. I have come from a long way, but she refuses. She says that now you can meet him tomorrow. Lockhart was very angry about this, so now he calls his company, but because of the signals, the call does not get connected. Lockhart keeps roaming in that wellness center like this. Then he meets a doctor there who is drinking something from a small bottle. Lockhart asks him about his medicine, to which the doctor says that this is just a vitamin medicine. He now tells the doctor the reason for his visit here, to which the doctor gives him time to come back tomorrow morning. Then Lockhart came out, sat back in his car and left to go to the hotel. On the way, he sees a girl standing on the fort, which was looking very strange. Suddenly, a deer came in front of their car, which caused a bad accident to their car. After this, Lockhart regained consciousness after 3 days. He himself was lying on the bed of the wellness center. He had a plaster on his leg, sitting nearby. He also sees a doctor whose name was Vollmer, and this doctor had also treated Lockhart. He says that your company has been informed about your accident. Now, you can go from here whenever you will be completely cured. On the way, Dr. Vollmer talks to Lockhart very strangely. He says that there is magic in the water here, so you have to drink as much water as possible so that you get well soon. That's why he kept drinking water after a while. When Lockhart was drinking water, he notices one thing, that there was a small insect in the glass, but he doesn't think much about it. One day, he starts roaming in the wellness center, where he sees that all the people coming here are very happy. Now, when he goes to take the steam bath, he meets the CEO of the company, whom he came to take him from here. He tells the CEO that I have come here to take you, but the CEO refuses to go with him. Lockhart says that if you don't go with me, then our company will be closed. It will be a big loss. Now, after a lot of convincement, the CEO was ready to go with Lockhart. The next day, Lockhart goes to the nurse and says that, please call the car. We want to go from here. The one I came to take will also go with me. On which the nurse says that the car will come in a little while. You just have to wait for a while. Now, Lockhart starts walking outside, where he meets a girl named Hannah, and she was the same girl he had seen standing on the fort. Hannah tells him that I have been living here since childhood. I know that when someone comes here once, he cannot go back again of his own accord. Hearing this, Lockhart found it very strange. He now goes inside again and starts looking for the CEO, who had not come there yet. He didn't find him, was not even in his room. After which Lockhart goes to Dr. Vollmer and asks that have you seen my company's CEO somewhere? On which Vollmer replies that yes, now you cannot take your CEO anywhere. His treatment is still left. Then there is blood coming from Lockhart's nose. As soon as he sees, he also becomes unconscious. When he comes to his senses, he sees that Dr. Vollmer was treating him. He was telling him that you're a little unwell and you've to stay here for some days and have treatment. Lockhart did not believe these words of Vollmer, but he gets ready to stay here. He still had doubts. So as soon as Vollmer leaves, he steals his CEO's file. After this, we see that Lockhart's treatment had also started. He was put in a very large water chamber, and an oxygen pipe was installed. He had to stay in that water for 30 minutes, and there was a doctor keeping an eye on him. But then a nurse comes there, and the doctor gets busy with that nurse. In the water, a lot of fish had come to Lockhart. His oxygen mask also comes off. He was now trying to come out of the water. Seeing this, the doctor takes him out. Lockhart tells the doctor that, "A lot of fish attacked me in the water, which eats humans in a minute." The doctor says that this will be your hallucination. After this, Lockhart was sent to his room. At night, he checks his CEO's file, but he was not able to understand anything reading this. The next day, he goes to an old woman who was also a patient of this wellness center. She tells Lockhart that 200 years ago, the king here used to experiment on people, and the people who live here in the town below the mountain. They had found a lot of corpses. They believe that they died because of the king's experiments. Before that, the old woman tells Lockhart something else. A worker comes there who took the old woman with him on the pretext of treatment. But before going, she tells Lockhart that this the dark place, dark world, and that's why no one goes back after coming here. Lockhart was already suspicious, but now he was convinced that something was wrong here. So now he decides that the town below the mountains, he will go there and find out what happened here and what's going on now. On the way, he also meets Hannah, who took him to a bar on her cycle. When Lockhart tells Hannah to drink the alcohol, she doesn't like the taste of alcohol, and she starts drinking water from a small bottle hung around her neck. Lockhart asks her, "What is this?" Hannah also tells the same thing that Lockhart was told by the doctor at the beginning of the story, that it is vitamins. That is, all the people living here used to drink it. For a while, Lockhart left Hannah alone and went to look for a doctor in the town, where he only gets a doctor of animals. He could only tell by looking at the report that your CEO's condition is not good. His teeth are also breaking. There, in the bar where Hannah was alone, some boys come and bother her. Then Lockhart also came there, who tries to save Hannah, but he was not able to fight the boys properly because he still had a plaster on his leg. That's why Dr. Vollmer comes there, who comes and saves them, and both were taken back to the wellness center with them. He was very angry at Hannah alone, that why did she go out alone? There Lockhart, who was in his room, he sees that one of his teeth is broken. He starts to feel that maybe the experience being done on him could have an effect of this. Now, he starts to check everything there. Similarly, he goes to a room where the dead bodies were kept in the chambers. There was also the dead body of his CEO. At that time, Vollmer goes there, who tells him that, "Why do you reach everywhere?" The doctor's companions hold Lockhart and forcefully remove his teeth. He somehow escapes from here and comes out and sits in a car and tells his driver to drive the car, who took him to the police. He reaches there and tells the officer that the wellness center has been built on the mountains. The experiments are done on people there, and I have also seen the dead bodies of many people there, including the dead body of my CEO. Hearing this, the police inspector gets up and leaves from there. At that time, Lockhart sees that he also had the same vitamin bottle that he saw with Hannah a while ago. At that time, Vollmer also came there with the CEO, but he had seen the dead body of the CEO. So how did he come alive? Vollmer tells the police officer that he is our mental patient. You let him go with us. He has come here running. Vollmer tells him that, look, you have a mental disease. Lockhart also started to feel that he was sick. Now, he also began to have his treatment in the wellness center. One day, he puts off his leg plaster while thinking something. As a result, he could walk properly, so he goes to an experiment room where he sees pictures of fish that eat humans, and there was also a pool of water where the dead body of that old woman was being thrown, who had told him about the king. There were many fish that ate humans in that water. Hannah also feels strange there. She had also seen the problem in the lives of girls for the first time, but she did not know anything about it. She gets confused and comes to Dr. Vollmer, because Dr. Vollmer loved her like his own daughter. Then Lockhart comes there, who tells everyone that Vollmer does experiments on people and is killing them, but no one believes him and move toward him to kill him, saying that no, we are sick, we are sick. Lockhart was caught, so now he is kept in a filter chamber where Dr. Vollmer tells him that I told you that you are sick, and there is magic in the water here, which you cannot give directly to anyone. Actually, the water in that small bottle that we saw with everyone, that water was the sweat of the people kept here, which was given to them in drops. Vollmer says that every person lives from 60 to 70 years, but the people living here live from 200 to 300 years, which is the effect of the magic of this water. Now Vollmer puts a pipe there and puts fish in Lockhart's mouth, and now his sweat starts coming out. According to Vollmer's wording, it is pure water, or magic water. Hannah is shown there, who is now grown up, and she was getting married to Dr. Vollmer, and not to anyone else. Whatever happened to Lockhart? But now he did not want to be wrong with Hannah, so he quietly goes to Vollmer's room and sees a book of his. There he also gets a picture lying there, by which he came to know that 200 years ago, the story he heard about the king, he is no one else but Dr. Vollmer. Dr. Vollmer's wife was his sister. He married his sister. They had a daughter who was none other than Hannah. Vollmer's sister, that is, his wife, died, but he and his daughter Hannah were alive for 200 years. Hannah did not know anything about this, that Vollmer is her father. She was not even willing to marry, but Vollmer forcibly marries his own daughter and tied her with the bed. And then Lockhart comes there, who comes and says that, "How can you do this with your own daughter?" Vollmer says that, "I have been waiting for this for 200 years. Saying this, Vollmer removes the mask from his face. We can see his real face here, which was very scary. Now, Lockhart sets fire to his lighter, but in this fight, Vollmer was winning. There was fire everywhere. Hannah hits Vollmer on the head with an axe. As a result, the 200-year-old king, that is, Vollmer, is now dead. Lockhart and Hannah also come out. The whole hospital was on fire, seeing which all the patients were dancing, because their mental balance was now damaged. Lockhart runs away with Hannah on her cycle, but then he collided with a car, in which his company's people came to pick him up. But he refuses to go and decides to stay here with Hannah. We see a satanic smile on Luke's face. It means that somewhere Vollmer's experience was successful. Now, he was going to live here with Hannah for 200 years. And with this, the story ends here. Thanks for watching.